Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Michael's Avenue, the home of Ellerslie Cricket Club. They've won the toss here against Papatoetoe and they are batting first. First over for Papatoetoe being bowled here by Herschel Vias. Right arm off spin. Good steady start here from Vias. 3 balls in, just the 1 run scored. Always an interesting tactic going with spin in the first game. Last game covered by yours truly. Down at Victoria Park a couple of weeks ago, just before Christmas, we saw all 6 overs of the power play being bowled by Booth, mate.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your role in this team.
Well, my first season here was recently at Parnell. It was my first season with the club. It's been exciting. Been in the mix with the boys real early, which is good. So I bat in the middle order, bowl left up spin, so involved in a bit of everything for the team, and it's obviously a good playing here at Ellerslie is a good opportunity for the youngsters, which is good. Like you get exposed to the higher level real early, which is a benefit.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, really good club here. I was looking at coming here myself when I came over. Yeah. How do you think the tournament's gone for your side so far?
It's not quite the right start we've wanted, but there's been ups and downs, but a lot of positives before Christmas that we can take out of it. The team's gelling well, obviously, like a lot of fresh faces here. But I think going into the future, it should be like a positive sign.
Fantastic. First over gone down here at Michael's Avenue, 3 for no loss from the first over. So speaking to your captain at the toss, he said a pass score around here that you'd be looking for would be around 160. Think that's a fair judgment?
Yeah, I mean quite short boundaries in somewhat areas. So.
Oh, and there is one. Banged in short, he's hooked that away. It's landed just inside the right, but the first boundary for Ellerslie. Beautiful start. Strong statement of intent from Parry there. Ball banged in short. He's seen the first one whistle past his grill to the keeper's gloves. This one, he swivels on it nicely, not quite bouncing as high. Square leg up in the ring, an easy boundary. Steams it again, just using the pace, finding the gaps in the field, running that down to third man just for the single.
I think like this home ground has a big advantage for us, like knowing the conditions, training on the block. So I think we've had a good idea of like how the pitch plays, but obviously it's down to the in the moment, basically just putting the best foot forward and playing well.
Sure. Dead ball called there by the umpire, just getting his run up slightly wrong. He's coming in off a long way, he's steaming in. That's a good 25-30 yard run up. Strong start here from the Ellerslie opening pair. It'll be exactly what the skipper would have been looking for when choosing to bat first here. That par total you talked about of 160, definitely looking on the cards early here. And in he comes again, steaming, and that one slightly fuller. Big wafting drive. Big wafting drive from Parry, swing and a miss, worked straight through to the keeper's gloves. He's looking to be positive though, the intent's there, and that's brought about a field change from the Papatoetoe skipper. Fine leg's going to come up into the ring, and deep square leg is going back onto the boundary. Might have had something to do with the boundary we saw earlier in the over.
Yes, definitely. I think Parry, he's a very good player. Square of the wicket, loves the pace on the ball, which is like good for him opening the batting.
Interesting you say there, he likes pace on the ball early, being an opening batter in 2020 cricket. Do you think that's why these guys will have gone for a spinner from the other end?
Yes, definitely. And obviously looking at the pitch as well, looks like he used wickets. Maybe the spinners have something they can get out of it.
That one called a wide there by the umpire. Good intent, fast bowling coming in here, but that one's just over the top of his head high. It's called a wide. As you see, probably pretty predictable, dropping square leg out to the boundary and following it up with a bumper. Can't help feeling if he was going to follow this plan of attack, it might be a better plan to bring third man up and have fine leg out if you're going to attack him with a short ball. Probably more likely for a top edge to fine leg. Certainly not shying away from the challenge here, Parry. And another swing and miss brings about the end of the second over. Two overs gone, 11 for no loss here at Michael's Avenue. Ellerslie off to a decent start. First boundary of the over coming are going to start to hit the middle of the bat. That's again good strike rotating there. Tucked away into the mid wicket just for a single. So as we have one of the Ellerslie players here, I might as well ask, what's been your highlight of the season so far, mate? Personally, team performance, anything you like?
I think in terms of the team, I think it's just as it is like rebuilding stage for us. I think this season, it's good that we've got had a lot of ups and downs. Obviously, beating Waitak, I think it was, in the one days. Obviously, that was a big highlight for us. Second game of the season. Turned it around very quickly after the Takapuna loss, but the boys, obviously it's just been a mix and match on this side. Obviously we've got a lot of good players even in our second side and third side. It's just like trying to figure out right now the best 11, I think, to do well in the season, the upcoming season. And yeah,
so if we look back at the first 4 rounds of this 2020 competition in particular, just the one win against Auckland Uni, 3 losses coming against Howick, Eden Roskell and Parnell. 2 of those games bowled out for under 100, bowled out for 82. Oh, that's been top edged. Another short ball comes in, catches the glove, and a run out opportunity at the bowler's end just missed. Goodness me, a lot going on that ball. Banged in short. He's attempted the pull shot, but he's just been done for pace. It's caught him on the gloves, nearly carried all the way to short fine leg. He's been called through for a quick single, a direct hit attempt at the bowler's end. Batsman would have been comfortably out, but he's missed the stumps. A big opportunity for Papatoetoe going to miss. But it's clear to see, even with the pace of Sunit Bowler coming in here, both batsmen are not shying away from it. They're happy to take on the short ball. They're looking positive. And that's going to send a good message through to the rest of the team.
Yes, definitely. I think obviously these two started making the inroads into the innings. We just need to continue it. Obviously, they've given us a good platform to build off. It's just the rest of the boys coming in just need to get us to a healthy total.
It's been a good comeback here from Bowler, going for 4 the first ball. He'd have been disappointed to start the over that way, but he's come back 2 slower balls from the last 3. Nicely disguised, both been tucked away. He'll be looking to finish the over strong here, though. Just gone for 5 so far after that boundary first ball. He'll be looking to finish strong. Midway through the fourth over here at Michaels Avenue, the score is 26 for no loss. Ellerslie winning the toss and batting first. Looking to bounce back after the Christmas break from their loss to Parnell. Lost to Parnell. And again, that's beautifully played away, using the pace of the bowler. He's got low, he's opened the face, he's seen third man up in the ring, he's sliced that away. That is the second boundary of the over. Beautiful piece of batting. And that's a really clever piece of work. We're talking here about the intent, about the positivity against a quicker bowler with the power play going. He's seen the man come up from third man, he's backed away, he's got low, and he's used the pace up and over the fielder to find the boundary. That's an excellent piece of batting. You see what you mean by saying he likes the pace on the ball?
Yeah.
Excellent. Bit of pressure put back on Burler here now. See how he responds as he comes in to finish the fourth over. And that's a full toss. Sliced away. He's got away with murder. He's gone straight to short third man. A yard either side, and that's the third boundary of the over. But he's got away with it, just a dot. And he's seen out his over. 10 runs coming from the fourth over. Ellerslie, 30 for no loss. Papatoetoe continuing with spin option here, opening the bowling. Are we going to see some spin from your boys in the power play, or?
Yes, I think definitely. Obviously, looking at the wicket, it looks like there might be a bit of grip on the surface. Obviously, depending on how much we score, might have to adapt to which end of the innings we'll bowl our spinners. But I think this wicket does provide a little bit, playing on it previously, but we'll just have to see.
Yeah, definitely with a used pitch. I think playing on it previously a couple of times, from the sounds of it, you're definitely going to have a bit of an advantage going into bowling second innings.
Yes, definitely.
So would you say your side is more of a predominantly a spin attack? Or?
Yeah, we're very spin-based attack. Got a 3-4 good spinners, obviously, that can do a bit. It's just obviously knowing the right batsman and where to bowl and what stages of the innings to bowl the spinners.
Great insight there. Decent start to the over, and a length ball has been swept away. Square leg in the ring again. It's a chase in vain for deep mid wicket. That runs away to the boundary. And the first boundary to Hassad Azad. Good positive intent, not letting the spinner settle here. I think both Ellerslie batsmen have looked good in that sense in the first 4 and a bit overs here at Michaels Avenue. They've been looking to take the attack back to the bowlers, even in their singles. That one there nudged down to long on just for the one. Even in their singles, they're using their feet, they're looking to be positive, they're looking to strike the ball hard. Papatoetoe looking under a little bit of pressure here early.
Yes, definitely. I think the two openers counter-react each other well. One obviously loves pace on the ball, and the other one's a very risky player who can adapt to the spin, which is good.
And as we're seeing here from the chop and changing of the field, left-hand, right-hand combination, absolute nightmare for a captain.
Yes, definitely. I think, especially
that was sliced away. Again, positive intent. He's looked to work that, probably straighter than the balls originally ended up. That squirted away off the outside edge through the covers. Definitely aerial, definitely catchable, but it's found the gap. It's looking like Parry's day. That one runs away for another boundary. We were talking there just before that boundary about the complication of a left-hand, right-hand combination at the top of the order. It's really important for the captain to stay with a calm head here. Runs starting to flow. A lot of things going on. A lot of fielders moving positions. He's got to keep a cool head here early doors. Not let these batsmen run away with this. 10 runs from the 5th over so far. We're just about to have it finished up here. Field, we've got a deep mid wicket and a deep long on. All the men up on the offside, and that's where he's targeting. Full ball driven out to the offside, but cleaned up nicely by Point, and that dot brings to the end the 5th over. Ellerslie in a strong start, 40 for no loss. And I bet if I'd said that to you before the start of the game, you'd have taken it.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, looking at our past performances, we need to have a good, strong start into the innings. Obviously, build a good platform, which the boys have struggled to do in the past couple of matches, but coming back from the new year, it looks like it's a positive sign.
Yeah, it looks like the cobwebs are being dusted off quickly by the Ellerslie opening pair. Papatoetoe just working into their stride here. We've had a couple of sloppy deliveries, we've had a wide. The last over of the power play coming up here. Can they bounce back? Can they take a crucial wicket into the middle overs here? Short and wide bowled, it's banged in, it's been top edge down to third man, and the catch is taken. Commentator's curse strikes again. The ball banged in short and wide. He's looked to go up and over point with it. He's got a thick top edge. It's gone all the way down to third man. He's hardly moved an inch, and the catch is taken. The first wicket goes down for Ellerslie on the score of 40 for 1. Parry dismissed with a score on 40. New batsman in at 3 is Abra Alam. How's he been going this season so far?
Yeah, he's obviously had a good knock against Roscoe 97 in the 2-day comp. He's been on and off, I guess. He's been injured the past couple of weeks, so first game back, which is very important for him to get off to a good start. But I think there's obviously talent there to perform. It's just the mentality, I think, is a bit lacking in his game right now. But obviously he'll try to get off to a good start here today.
Well, he's been given a good opportunity here. 40 on the board already through the first 5 overs. He's got a good little foundation here to take his time and explode through the middle overs, and really set up something for your big hitting middle order to come in and work with.
Yes, definitely. This is a good start for the boys. I think this is one of the better platforms we've put on in the season. Hopefully, turns out to be a good total.
What a response to the wicket going down. No strings held back there. The ball banged in again by Daman Bhatti, but hooked away, fine leg in the ring. And that's another boundary. Again, good intent shown by the Ellerslie opener here. He's not letting the wicket go to his head. He's not letting the Papatoetoe bowlers dictate to him. He's letting them know that anything poor they throw down at him, he's going to put away. Has to be said, they've got the field set for a short ball. They've got a deep square leg out, but the other man out is a deep third man. If they're going to bowl the short ball, they've got to make sure they get their line right. Otherwise, exactly as we've just seen there, he's going to utilise fine leg up in the ring instead of bringing that ball round to square leg. That one just tucked away down to third man for the single. Good strike rotating as well. Absolutely crucial in one-day cricket these days, that it's not just block, block, bash, hit the ball out the ground or nothing. They've got to learn to rotate the strike. And Ellerslie have been doing that really well so far in this innings. And here comes Bhatti bowling to, as after his first ball, comes here. Slightly slower ball there, rolling his fingers across that, just dying in the pitch fraction, showing us how used this pitch is. Just a little early on that one, the ball dying through to the keeper, taking it on the half volley as well. Third man out, deep square leg out, everyone up in front of square on the offside. Just nice and solid. Just as we're talking about there, a nice foundation already laid by the opening pair for the middle order batters to come in and just take a couple of balls to find their rhythm. With it being a used pitch, no one can expect them to walk in and start smashing the ball all around the park from ball one. So sensible batting, taking a look at the pitch, taking a look at the bowler, assessing where his scoring options are, giving himself a chance to build a bit of an innings. That's good. Balance again, that one just tucked away into the offside for a single. And an excellent over there from Bhatti. Good way to finish the power play for Papatoetoe. A little bit of a comeback in that over with the just the 5 runs and the wicket coming off it. At the end of the power play, Ellerslie 45 for 1. 46, correction, 46 for 1. So overall, had to be said, probably Ellerslie's power play.
Yes, definitely. Obviously, there were ups and downs for both teams, but I think Ellerslie dominated most of that. Obviously, picked the right shots for the right balls, and put on a good platform after the 6 overs.
Yeah, when your captain wins the toss and chooses to bat first, it's really important that your openers go out there and stamp a bit of authority on the innings.
Yeah.
And again, with it being a used pitch, probably unlikely that we're going to see a score in the 200s today, but that is absolutely where a captain would want to be right now in this game. A little bit of flight there.
Yes, definitely. I think we obviously need one of the top 4 obviously stick around to the later end of the innings to obviously launch, but
the right-hander now on strike, yet to get off the mark. We've got 2 men out straight, long on, long off. We've got a man coming round at deep mid-wicket. Deep mid-wicket, slightly deep forward square leg there. We've got a man slightly behind square on the boundary as well. 2 men behind the square, up in the ring, and we've got a deep cover. It's a fairly standard field for an off-spinner here. And there's a little top edge off the glove. Oh, and it's just landed short of short fine leg. His heart would have been in his mouth there. He's gone down early for the shot, slightly premeditated. He didn't quite get the length for it. It's bounced on him just a fraction, takes the top of the glove. Fine leg might have been slightly late to react to that. It looked like it might have been an opportunity from the glove. But it's dropped just short, and he gets off the mark with a lifeline. Again, that one's swept away. There's a man out on the boundary. He does okay. Saves the boundary, but they've come back for 2. Positive start to this over. And that 2 brings up the 50 for Ellerslie, midway through the 7th over. Excellent start. Oh, a big full toss comes down there. He was already walking down the wicket at him, so he's slightly missed out there. He's punted it down to long on for a single. That's the slight risk you take when premeditating footwork against a spinner. If he stands still, he probably gets a nice juicy full toss there. But again, the positive intent is there. He won't mind that too much. It's been a fairly steady over so far. He's looked to give it some air. Again, another full toss, just tucked down to long on. He's just finding his yards here. Bringing to the end the 7th over. Ellerslie 52 for 1 through 7 overs. And we've got a change in the commentary box here. We're joined by Ellerslie player Viren. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Tell me a little bit about Ellerslie, about your role in this team.
Oh, bit and pieces cricketer, but everything. Just bat a little, bowl a little. Yeah, so I've batted a 9. I've opened the bowling with spin. Haven't been 8.
What do you bowl?
Just off easy.
Nice. Oh, that one hooked away. It's banged in short. It's coming down to fine leg, and he has picked him out. He's just looking to get his feet going. Just looking started in his innings. Ball banged in short. He's hooked it away. He's probably felled a pretty nice shot. It's come off the bat well. But fine leg has taken a couple of yards to his left and plucked that one comfortably. The second wicket goes down for Ellerslie, 52 for 2.
Get pad up, boys. Someone else coming in.
So a stop-start change here in the commentary box. We're joined here by opening batsman Parry. Tell me what it was like out there.
It's pretty good. Short balls didn't tend to come that nicely. Apart from that, it's a pretty good batting wicket, I reckon.
So I was talking to one of your other players there who was on commentary earlier. He was saying how you like pace on the ball early. Is that fair?
Yes, that's
fair
correct. Yeah. It's easier for me to have to play pace bowlers earlier on, and then kind of manipulate with spinners later on.
So with that being said, this being a pretty used pitch by now, it sounds like you played in this a couple of times.
Yes.
How was the ball coming through?
It looks like, as I said earlier, it's coming pretty well onto the bat, but the short ball just holds up a bit. So you could see with the spinners where a couple of short balls were hit straight to the fielders because it kind of drips onto the wicket. But yeah, apart from that, when the quick throw bowling is pretty straightforward.
Well, that one's come straight off the middle of the bat. Again, a poor delivery, banged in short down the leg side to the left-hander. He swung that one away, fine leg in the ring with no chance. That goes away for a boundary. Alan Burton in here at number 4 for Ellerslie, off the mark with a boundary. Beg your pardon, Hassad getting a gift. First ball for him this over. Comes in again. Nicely worked, outside off stump. Good cricket. Coach's favourite that, a boundary then a single. Nicely done. Just using the pace again, just realising where his options are, where his singles are coming from, and being prepared to pounce on a bad ball. Now we're going to see Alan Burton facing his first ball here. He's had a good season so far. High score of 63 in this tournament. How important is he to your top order?
Oh, he kind of stabilises the ship when we kind of lose a couple of wickets early on. And then he has the capacity to really take charge as well. He did that against Uni, where we needed some quick runs, and he kind of fired some balls. And it was pretty good the way he batted that day.
Fantastic. That one there just banged in slightly short. Might have been a slight cutter coming through very slowly onto the bat. You can see he was early, very early on that. Talking about what you were saying before, the ball being banged in, yes. Using the cutters, using the pace off on a used wicket might be the way to go here.
Great. I think so, yeah.
Are we going to see plenty of that when your boys are bowling?
I will suggest that, but it's up to the bowlers to do what they do.
Superb. That one left just alone. Burton looking tentative and cautious on his first couple of balls here. As mentioned previously, decent start here from the Ellerslie openers, giving the middle order a bit of foundation to play themselves in here. Well, full ball, outside edge, a genuine nick, goes down the third man. Fielder does well enough, he keeps it to just the one. So 6 runs and the wicket coming from the 8th over. Ellerslie 58 for 2. Tell me, would you have taken that at the start?
Yeah, pretty good start, to be honest. We should keep in mind that we're a bit rusty off the holiday season. So yeah, it's a pretty good start.
Dusting off the cobwebs of sitting on the couch exactly. For Christmas time. That's all right, mate. I think we're all dusting off a few cobwebs. I managed to get the team name wrong at the toss. Always what you like to hear from your presenter. And change of bowling here. It's going to be Josh Plummer coming into the attack. Another right arm offie. He's a big man. He hits the ball extremely hard. Scored a very exciting 66 against North Shore in the One-Day Cup a couple of months back. Bowling some left arm darts here. Starting fractionally short, but that one just tucked away into short fine leg for a single first ball. So all spin being bowled from the pavilion end, all pace being bowled from the far end. Thoughts on that as a home player?
Probably because the wind's blowing across the wicket, and it will be easier to pick the spinners heading into the wind.
Looking to work that one away. Again, similar field to earlier. We've got a deep cover, two men out straight. Deep cow corner, square leg back on the boundary. Nicely played again. A bit of pace on the ball here from Plummer. He's not your conventional slow spinner. He's bowling with a little bit of pace, bit of dart behind the ball. just opening the face down to the short third man taking a single. Good strike rotating from the whole Ellerslie top 4 so far this innings. They got off to a good start. 46 through the power play. They'll be looking to kick on through the middle overs. At the toss, your captain talked about a par total, a good score here being around 160. Do you think that's fair from here on out?
It depends on how they assist the wicket pretty early on, because if they get a couple of freebies up early, they would start to think that it's a pretty flat wicket, which it's not. As I said earlier, it does grip a bit, so it really depends on how they look at it and how they assist the wicket pretty early on. But having said that, I'd say 140 should be pretty good to defend on this.
Great insight. So if we're going to have any fireworks from the lower order, who can we look out for?
I'd say we have Dinesh and we've got Steve. Our skipper Dippy, he hits the ball pretty well. So it totally depends on the base we've got.
Fantastic, brilliant insight here at Michael's Avenue. Pleasure to have the players of the home team alongside us in the commentary box. Just the 3 runs coming from the 9th over, well bowled from Plummer. 61 for 2 here. And a change of bowling at the start of the 10th over here. We're going to see the captain Ojala come in. Very experienced off spinner. The first sign of spin from the far end in today's game. Very wily character. Fast action. Straight on the money straight away. That one tucked into the leg side. Deep square leg comes in, picks that off for a single. So the more into this innings we go, we're starting to see the effects of the spinners taking their toll here.
Yeah.
We see the pitch is starting to slow up a fraction, definitely starting to grip, holding a little bit of spin. From the sounds of your lineup, that's going to play into your hands.
Hopefully.
It's a quick single taken here to short third man. A throw at the bowler's end, comfortably wide. A big dive from the batsman, but he gets home safe. So yeah, as we were saying, excellent fielding there at backward point, keeps that down to just a single. These two just looking to nudge and nurdle here. No massive risks being taken in the last over or two, which is good. They realise this is an important stage of their innings. They realise the pitch is deteriorating. They're making sure that they've got a little bit of a platform for their big hitters in the middle lower order to come in and make the most of the last 6 or 7 overs.
Correct.
For say.
Yeah.
So you can see the batsman looking around, trying to find his gaps. Both men in the ring behind square. Short third man, short fine leg, but he's weighted that one beautifully. He's going to come into long on. 2 runs, a direct hit attempt at the bowler's end. Might have been close. The umpire was looking at it, but he's missed the stumps. They come back for a well run 2. Would you say that's a big area of your team's game? They're running between the wickets?
Yes. We talk a lot about it. Cricket's not all about hitting big 6s and 4s. It's about how well you can rotate the strike. With the left hand and the right hand batting, it's always difficult for a bowler to change line every ball. So there's less margin of error when you're bowling to 2 different batsmen, especially when it's right and left. Absolutely,
really good point made there. We were talking about that earlier, about the difficulty of a captain having to deal with the pressure of such a fast changing game as 2020, especially when the batsmen keep changing hands. Fielders have got to be switched on, the captain's got to hold his nerve. See there again, another single taken out into the offside, slapped out to deep cover for a 1. 7 runs coming from the 10th over. Ellerslie 68 for 2 at the halfway stage. It's going to be Plummer to continue from the pavilion end. Darted in that one, tucked away into the offside, out to deep cover. Just the one run. Continuing what we're talking about of rotating the strike around really nicely. Left-hand combination. A lot of fielders running all over the place. It's going to be taking its effect. Coming into the second innings, tired fielders, mentally tired captain. He's doing a good job so far. I think an area in particular that I've noticed that's been utilised for a lot of singles in the last couple of overs is that kind of short third man, short fine leg area.
Yeah.
I think if I was captain out there, I'd have to be having a word with them, telling them they've got to be right in there on the single.
Correct.
It's a difficult shot on a used pitch with a little bit of turn on it. It's going to be a difficult shot to get the ball past those men. Whereas I think if they're right in on the single, even there, that one tucked in close to short extra cover. They've scampered through for another single. You have to say it's excellent running from this Ellerslie pair. Even with 5 men out on the boundary, they're ticking the strike over really nicely. 7 runs coming off the last over, 3 runs coming from the first 3 balls here. Nice piece of footwork, drilled down the ground for another single. This is where you pull your hair out as a captain, isn't it?
Yes, correct.
These two really working the conditions nicely. They've realised this isn't going to be a score where they're going to smash 200. They're going to have to work for these runs. And as mentioned earlier by Parry, 140, 145 is going to look like a very competitive score. I think anything over 145 will be a difficult chase on this pitch. Especially with the light going down a little bit as we're talking as well. It's fairly dark here at Michael's Avenue. It's a little bit gloomy. Certainly not going to get any easier as the evening goes on. In comes Plummer to finish off the 11th over. Nicely worked again, sensible batting, getting to the pitch of the ball, punching down the ground nicely. And that brings to the end the 11th over, 6 runs coming from that, 13 off the last 2 overs. 11 overs gone, Ellerslie 74 for 2. It's going to be Ojla to continue from the far end. 7 runs coming from his first over. If you were out there now, would he be the bowler you'd be looking to attack?
Yes. Having said earlier on, the wind's there going across.
And just as we say that, the field has done very well to watch that. The old coach's favourite of watch the spin. He's nearly picked him. He's nearly left with egg on his face. Comes steaming in to attack that ball. He's clearly spinning away from him. He's just managed to get his fingers on it. There's some precious blemishes. Positive intent to the start of the over. A little bit uppish. Didn't quite get over the top of it as he would like to, but another single. Good fielding. Really, really, really important for Papatoetoe here to know that they've got to keep these singles in the ring down if they can. They've got an opportunity to take as many dot balls as possible. They really have to work hard at it. Every one of these runs is going to be difficult to chase on this pitch. They've got to know that. Plummer doing well there. Back-to-back dot balls for the first time in a while. Burton got to stay positive here. Plenty of gaps to work with. In comes Ojla again. And nicely tucked away again. No risk. Just working the ball nicely into gaps, keeping the strike ticking over. Is this the kind of way he likes to play?
Yes, he does tend to play like this early on, and then we see a kind of explosion. So just probably carry on batting like this.
That is a fabulous piece of batting. What a cricket shot that is. He skips down the ground, the ball held back ever so slightly, gets to the pitch of the ball, uses his wrists, opens the face. That's gone up and over cover for 4 runs. Shot of the match so far.
Oh, definitely.
Never an easy shot. Probably one of the toughest shots in the game to get right. And on a pitch which is holding a little bit of spin, that is a seriously high-class piece of batting. Azad here really starting to look comfortable at the crease. Another coach's favourite of 4 and then a boundary.
Thanks for that, bro.
Finishes off the 12th over, 7 runs coming from it.
Thank you.
Good work, mate. 12 overs gone, Ellerslie 81 for 2. Just as if this game couldn't get any more exciting, we are joined by a legend of Auckland cricket in the commentary box, Mr. Shovik Nandi. And that's a fantastic take from the wicketkeeper. I think he's almost taken himself by surprise there. The ball fired down the leg side.
Just the wide.
Appeared to have flicked off the pad. The wicketkeeper allowed appeal, didn't go for the stumping because he was so sure of a little glove on that. But the umpire spread both arms. It's called a wide, Shov.
Mate, I've got to be honest, I've never really received that kind of ovation at the start. So yeah, thanks for that. No, it's great to be here. Michael Zav, sun's out again, and a good match in our hands as well. So it should be good viewing this.
Yeah, interesting start to the over there. I was sure I heard a noise. I could have
First one going down as a wide.
going down as a wide. Could have
Close
sworn.
stumping chance as well.
Well, the keeper seemed so confident that it had flicked a glove that he almost didn't go for the stumping. If he'd been a little bit quicker, the batsman would have been out by a long way. But umpire not hearing anything, giving it a wide.
There you go. It just goes down as a single in the score sheet.
It's the same in the book.
It's well bowled there.
Superb bowling. You can hear the cry of anguish from Burton at the striker's end. Looking to get low, looking to use the pace on the ball. Plummer not offering up a huge amount of air here. He's chucking down with some good pace for a spinner. Again, that's nicely worked. Down towards short fine leg for another single.
He's a clever bowler, and especially Josh and Navdeep working in tandem. So you have the left and right hand sort of variation as well. It definitely helps. Obviously, it helps in the batting, but sometimes it helps with the bowling as well. So no, it's a good ploy, this.
I think they're realising the fact that it's a heavily used pitch. Talking to some of the Ellerslie players earlier, saying that it's been taking a little bit of spin. It's that kind of wicket where banging the ball in, pace off is going to be effective. And to be fair, Papatoetoe are coming back pretty well here. Ellerslie dominating the first power play, 46 for 1 through the first 6. But Papatoetoe coming back strong here.
No, it's good stuff for this. I think Papatoetoe missed a trick in the middle just with the singles. There were quite a few singles being taken, and especially the fielders close in. I think they let just the pressure go off. I mean, kudos to the Ellerslie batsmen as well for taking those singles and all the chances and building pressure on the Papatoetoe fielders.
So again, we see another one there. Getting low, opening the pace, working it into the offside, straight at backward point, and a comfortable single taken. These are the kind of areas where, as a coach, you would be looking at and saying, yeah, we keep 20 of those singles down, we're looking at a completely different game. But as you say, complete credit to the Ellerslie batsmen so far in this innings. They've rotated the strike really well. They've looked to be positive, and when a bad ball's been there, they've taken it. 6 runs coming from the 13th over. Ellerslie 87 for 2. So we're coming into the final 7 overs of this innings. It's going to be Ojla to continue from the far end. What do you think the Ellerslie pair will be discussing in the middle now?
I mean, anything close to the 150 mark would be on par, I think. We heard one of the Ellerslie guys mention that anything around the 140 region, and then Captain, he was Depeche, he mentioned around the 160 sort of mark. So yeah, anywhere around the 150 sort of mark would be a good chase, and good total to defend as well. So pretty much on par there.
I think from this stage, 2 batsmen have been in there for a while. Obviously, Hassan Azad been there from the start of the innings. I think anything under 140 would be disappointing as an Ellerslie side.
That's right.
From here. Having said that, I think anything over 150 over.
That definitely helps in a T20.
That's where I think even more credit's got to be given to the Ellerslie top 4 so far, although it's not quite been the kind of fireworks you might see on a 200 deck. They've batted with a lot of skill, a lot of patience, and they've waited for their opportunities to score. And in 2020 cricket, that can be just as, if not more important than whacking the ball out of the stadium.
Very well summed up, Elliot.
It could have been very easy, I think, for these boys to come out and try and go heave-ho, hitting everything onto the nets and end up getting bowled out for 80. I think they've played the odds well. I think they've realised that anything around 140, 150 will be a competitive score, and they obviously back their bowling attack, which, as we've talked about with a couple of the other players who've been joining us in the commentary box, is a strength of theirs. They know this pitch well, they know the outfield, they've got the wind on one side, they've got a strong bowling lineup, 4 spinners in the Ellerslie attack today.
That's right. And that's pretty much what you have to do in T20, and just adapt to different situations. And as a batter, as a fielding unit, you basically have to adapt to different sort of conditions and different sort of situations. And early on in the post-Christmas season, basically, it's again early days, 2-week break. So yeah, you never know what sort of total might just be enough. So it's in a way, it's a good toss to lose for a day like today. As we see a wide.
Just as we say that, we see possibly the worst ball bowled today. Dragged down. You see what he was trying to do? He was trying to roll his fingers across it, bowling a cutter banged into the surface, but he's got it horribly wrong. That's gone well down leg side for another wide.
That's all right. Just goes on as one more extra.
One more extra. Not the end of the world, Aisha.
Not the end of the world. That's right.
I think this is the kind of innings that a real die-hard cricket fan will enjoy. It's been very tactical. They've worked out their scoring areas well. Coming down the wicket there, banged in short, slower ball. And he's Roger Federered that down to long on, just for another single. 5 runs from the over so far. They have, I feel like the Ellerslie batters so far have played the odds well with this pitch. As mentioned before, they could have come out and gone gun-ho and tried to take the pitch out of it, but that can easily swing the other way. And first game back after the break, I think they're going about it the right way. Or just as we say that, full toss on the pads, been flicked away. Yet again, finding the man down at fine legs, straight at him. He hasn't had to move an inch. Got away with it. I think we've seen 2 go straight at him, where a yard either side would have been 4. Small margins like that can make a big difference. Again, we see some footwork coming down at the bowler, trying to utilise that in front of the wicket scoring options. And that dot sees the end of the 14th over. 6 runs coming from it. It's 93 for 2. This innings really is getting set up for a fascinating last 5-6 overs here at Michael's Avenue. 8 wickets still in hand for the Ellerslie boys, 93 runs on the board, and a strong power-hitting middle and lower order to come in.
And most importantly, 2 set batsmen in the crease as well.
2 set batsmen in as well. 2 men who can really explode through the last overs. Is it panic stations for Papatoetoe yet?
Nah, not just yet, I don't think. So if they can get Hassan Azad out in the next few balls, they're definitely back in the game here. And at the same time, they would have to bat well, as we see.
Sad 47. He's looked to go big for his 50. He's just cleared it over the rope, and that brings up his 50. Fantastic innings. You can probably hear the Ellerslie boys cheering behind us. First game back after the winter break. That'll mean an awful lot to him. There would have been a second where his heart might have been in his mouth there, going down the ground for 6. Fielder setting himself on the boundary, but it's just cleared him and he's got away with it.
This is when Hassan can be really dangerous towards the last 5 or 6 overs here. It's been very impressive. I must say this is the first time I've watched him. I've seen a few scores. He's obviously racked up the runs here.
He's looked very compact, and that single brings up the Ellerslie 100 midway through the 15th over here. Yeah, he's looked very controlled. I wouldn't say there's been a shot out of anger yet.
I think he's come from English county cricket, so where he actually
No
averages around.
wonder he's scoring bulk runs.
He actually averages close to 47 or 48. You were looking at some of the stats there, so yeah, no, it's
What's that like? Not that I would know, but if you can score runs in England, you can score runs anywhere.
that's right.
Fact. I think I scored 47 runs combined in my English cricket stint.
Did he play some county cricket there?
Not county. I played in a county. Certainly
Yeah.
wasn't county standard.
How does that basically compare to the New Zealand sort of setup here? Is it way different in terms of the county setup or the club setup there? Or?
No, not massively. Where I played, I went to university right up in the northeast of England, in the city of Newcastle, and cricket's very popular up in the north. You've got counties such as Yorkshire, Lancashire, Northumberland, Durham, big counties, plenty of international players coming from that kind of area. You know, Joe Root is Yorkshire, Jimmy Anderson comes from Lancashire, you've got the likes of Mark Woods, Paul Collingwood coming through Durham. So it's very, very competitive. And I loved my experience of playing cricket in England.
And what makes you keep coming back to New Zealand? What keeps you going?
Opportunities like this.
Good stuff.
Too right.
So you're going to be involved in some of the Super Smash roving camera stuff.
I certainly hope so.
Roving MC for the game on Friday.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to tinker up the face for radio. Maybe put my makeup on, but I think I'm really looking forward to that. It's a fantastic opportunity. If you could have told me a year ago that something like this would be happening, I'd have said you were mad. You know, from being utterly obsessed with cricket from the age of God knows how young, this is a dream come true. Thoroughly enjoying it. Hopefully you guys are too, sitting at home watching. Send in your comments. Let us know if there's anything you want us to change slightly, anything you want us to talk about. That one banged in again, swatted away through mid-wicket. Long on is coming round, he's done well, good arm in. He keeps it down to just 2.
105. Is that 15 overs up at the moment, or?
Yeah, 15.1 overs.
Yeah.
First over of the 16th over being bowled there. 10 runs coming from the previous over. And it looks like we're starting to see a little bit of the foot on the gas now from these two.
That's right, yeah.
Go on.
Ellerslie, I mean, 45 of the last 5 would be pretty much on their biggest target, I think, from here. So getting to that 150 mark, it's just that psychological sort of barrier that you kind of reach, and yeah, no, we should be in for a good chase here.
As mentioned in that previous over, looking like they're utilising having 2 set batsmen in there now. Ball sticking in the wicket, not looking the easiest to time the ball particularly well. That's why it's so crucial for Ellerslie that these two need to take it as deep as possible, as well as having big hitting batsmen coming in later down in the order. It's not always a guarantee that players can just walk in on a pitch like this and smash the ball out the ground. So the longer you've been in there, the more balls you face, the better chance you've got of making the most of these last 5 overs. Slight change in the field here. Short fine legs coming up into the ring. So we've got a deep square leg shove, we've got a deep mid wicket, a long on.
Where are you picking the
Deep
next
cover.
ball to go? What's your zone? Cow corner?
My zone, it would be probably through backward point for me, but that's why they play this standard and I don't. Cow corner probably wouldn't be my option here. If I was looking for a boundary, as we see long off going back there, I would probably be looking
Towards cow.
more on the offside. That one's been swung away towards cow. Sloppy fumble out in the deep allows them to come back for a second. Excellent running from this Ellerslie pair. Alan Burton, they're swinging the ball away. He's looking to utilise the wind. The wind is going in that direction, and also there's a sun setting across the ground. Both those men out on the leg side boundary will be staring into that. That will definitely play a role. Burton's been listening to the commentator.
Did he see
who obviously knows best?
Tom Benton's shot the other day?
He's a freak,
Oh,
isn't he?
jeez.
He is. Tom Benton, for those of you who don't know, used to be the England under-19 captain and was fairly notorious for being a little bit of a slower batsman, and then for those who are key fans of English cricket, he's gone away and he has completely transformed himself into an absolute six-hitting machine. If any young player wants to look at how opening the batting in 2020 should be done, Tom Banton's got to be the man you've got to look at. He will be a very, very, very exciting player.
Very exciting indeed.
Thank goodness he's English. That's all I'm saying. 6 runs coming from the 16th over. Ellerslie 109 for 2. Unfortunately, we don't have Tom Banton coming in next to bat. That would be something.
Yeah, it was very impressive. I think he top scored on the Vitality Blast as well.
Sonny Burler back on, bit of pace back on to close out the innings. That one catching a splice of the bat. No run into the covers. This could be a bit of a risky ploy for the Papatoetoe boys. Pace on the ball, especially on a pitch like this, as we saw in his first 2 overs, a couple of his poorer deliveries, catching outside edges, finding gaps, racing away. Just one of the risks you have to take with being a fast bowler, I guess.
That's right. Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen a lot of Sinnott growing up because when I was playing for Papatoetoe as well, and he's one of those really good net bowlers. And now he's basically blossomed into playing Premier Cricket week in, week out. So it's
well, he's banged that one in short there. That's been swung away off the back foot. Not timed as well as he'd like, but he's found the gap. That's gone for another boundary.
He's got that slingy sort of action, so he's always wanted to bank on his pace. So yeah,
talked about there a very kind of show back-tar, kind of slingy, real wind-up kind of action.
Malinga, show back-tar. So he definitely wants to go for that raw pace kind of thing. He has that X factor about him. So he's an exciting cricketer.
That is good to see. It's fantastic for a captain to have somebody like that to turn to. Always brings the excitement to the game, even if he does start to leak runs. You know as a batsman that you've always got one ball with your name on it, and that might be the worst commentator's curse I have ever done in this stint. As Burton goes clean bowled, fantastic leg stump Yorker.
That's his second wicket today, isn't it?
Second wicket today.
Yeah, that's right. 2 out of 3, that's not bad.
Not bad. Burton looks very disappointed as he's walking off, but a very, very good innings. Probably the right time to be looking to go for those shots, but he's been clean bowled. Excellent piece of bowling from Sonny Burler. Midway through the 17th over, Ellerslie 113 for 3.
Again, it's that extra pace from Sinnott that pretty much just got the better off the batsman there.
Well, that breaks the end of a fantastic 54-run partnership between Burton and his partner Hassad Azad. Excellent partnership, seen them through the middle overs really well, made sure that their big striking middle and lower order have a excellent foundation to explode from in the last few overs, and that's exactly what they've done.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
Be interesting to see now how the new batsman can cope with these conditions. Even though we are in the last couple of overs, there's still a little bit more time than you think. 3.4 overs to go in this innings from now. 3.3, correction.
Give me a prediction. What's the final score looking likely to be?
I'm going to go with 143.
143.
Yeah, 143.
So another 30 runs to go in the last.
30 runs to go. I think
3.3.
I think Hassad is going to carry his bat, and I think he's going to be the majority scorer for the last couple of overs. And 143.
143.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's going to be a couple.
No, it's great to see that he's back, and
that one tucked away into the offside, just round the backward point for a single. That brings to the end the over. 17 overs gone, 5 runs and the wicket coming from the 17th. Ellerslie 114 for 3, moving into the last 3 overs of the innings. Correction, 115 for 3 here Ellerslie, down at Michael's Avenue. It's a glorious evening. The sun is setting across us as we speak. There's a little bit of a crowd coming in. That's exactly what Auckland 2020 cricket is all about.
That's what it's about, exactly. Engaging with the local communities and then just supporting the local cricket as well, local club cricket. So no, it's fantastic to see.
And supporting local cricket beautifully by employing an Englishman on the comms. Fantastic.
You got to get over the fact that you're Englishman. You're in New Zealand.
How's the football skills? Oh, he's just missed the stumps. Are they going to come back and nick a second? They are. That's fantastic awareness. Beautiful piece of multi-sport going on there. Has just come off the pad. Bowler steamed in, kicked at the stumps. Probably would have been out with a hit.
Yeah, that's right.
But finally back on the boundary. They've managed to sneak in for a second. Excellent use of the field there.
It's Luke bowling, is it? Luke, another one growing up in the years, played a bit of cricket with him. And yeah, he's another one of those who basically had that bit of pace early on, and now it's just basically he's more of a sort of hit the deck kind of bowler, and then he just puts in the right sort of areas. There's a few good players on the Papatoetoe lineup.
Big swing of the bat coming there. Head staring up into space, just a little inside edge down the fine leg for a single. It's good though, it's good intent from the new batsman. He's trying to take the pressure off. Sad, who's been there the whole innings, he's probably starting to tire a little bit now. Him and Burton did a lot of running between the wickets in those middle overs. So it's important for the new batsman to come in and not put too much pressure on him, even though he's been in there for a while. They still need a good finish here, Ellerslie. They're not in a bad position so far. Score currently 118 for 3. 15 deliveries left in this innings. Another 30 odd runs, and I think they'll be very happy with their performance.
The 143 might be bang on here. It's not a bad shot. It's a good shot there. He just picks out the fielder in short fine leg.
He's got away with it. He's gone for the invention. He's actually played it very nicely. And it's resulted in a run out. It's an excellent piece of fielding at short third man. He's stopped the ball going past for a boundary. He's got on his feet rapid. Got the ball into the keeper. Batsman looking to come back for 2 to get Hassad back onto strike. He's been sold down the river, he's been sent back, and he's been comfortably run out. The 4th wicket going down for Ellerslie with the score on 119. Selfless batting there. Knew he wanted to get his partner back on strike to make the most of the last few deliveries.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, 6 wickets in hand, 7 wickets in hand before this. At this stage of the game, you pretty much go for anything and everything that you can get your hands on. Unfortunately, that didn't work out, but that keeps Hassan on strike. No, he's in the non-strikers now.
No-strikers now. Again, could be crucial going into the last few deliveries of this innings. 119 for 4 now, Ellerslie. Just coming to the end of the 18th over. 2 to go after this. It's going to be an exciting finish here at Michael's Avenue. Don't go anywhere.
Is that 118 or 119?
119. 119 with the run.
Are we sure? They were going for the second run, was it? Pop out that. Straight to the fielder and covers. Bit of multitasking here today. Smaller crew this time. It's just the 2 of us, pretty much managing all the producing, all the swapping and changing, and you've got your own sort of tally as well. So yeah,
I'm too much of a stat geek. I need to know what's going on in the game as we're going.
Another dot ball.
Another dot ball.
It's great bowling here. Again, it's
reminding me of a young Shovik Nandi, this bowler.
Yeah, no chance. It's very good bowling, and the biggest thing, again, it goes back to the point how difficult it is for all the new batsmen just walking into the crease and trying to swing it from ball 1.
Well, that's something we really talked about a couple of overs ago, of making the most of having 2 set batsmen at the crease. They've done that. Burton's done his job, but it's really important these new batsmen try as hard as they can not to eat up too many dot balls. And the end of the 18th over, the score 119 for 4 now, Ellerslie. 2 overs to go.
What an over that was.
Very excellent 18th over bowled there. They'll be looking to motor now, Ellerslie. They'll be looking for at least 20 from the last 2 overs. You'd have to say if they're going to get up to anything competitive, anything under 125, 130 might not be enough.
Hassan has to take most of the strike here, so out of the next 12 balls, he would look to take at least 8 or 9 of them, and then score close to the 20-25 mark. Brilla's last over.
It's going to be Brilla to bowl the penultimate over here at Michaels Avenue from the pavilion end. It's been a decent spell so far, a couple of boundaries leaked, but overall for a fast bowler in 2020, he's picked up 2 crucial wickets. If he can finish well here with the key wicket. Slow ball there, slapped away down to long on. Nice bit of fielding, keeps it just down to 1. So just as we're talking about there, the key man off strike now. Crucial for the new man in to either start hitting boundaries or to get Hassan back on strike.
Oh, just get the set batsman back on strike. That would be the easiest option, wouldn't it, at this point?
It's got to be the way that he's looking. 5 men out on the boundary. We've got a deep square leg, mid-wicket in, long on, long off, deep cover, and a deep 3rd man. He's looked to go big.
Don't know if that's the right option at this stage with a set batsman on the other end, and especially considering that he's played out the first 3 balls as dot balls in the previous over as well. So the easiest option would be just running down to the other end and giving as much as strike as possible to the set batsman, who's on 60 odd at the moment. So
we can see that Hassan just going down and having a little word with him, just discussing their tactics for the last 8 or 9 balls of this innings. And surely he's got to have said, hit and run.
Just give me the strike.
Get me on strike.
Get me back on strike.
Hassan batting beautifully. There we see more sensible cricket there from Ellerslie. He's looking to come back for 2. Nice bit of fielding. Keeps it just down to 1, but the danger man back on strike. Crucial for Ellerslie.
That's more like it. That was a nice looking shot as well. So whenever he's looking to play straight, that does make a bit of a difference.
All about aesthetics, eh, Sean? Cricket is all about aesthetics.
Hassan Azad is a very aesthetically closest favourite.
Just a big risk for a 1. Yeah, love it. Love it. As a coach myself, that's exactly what you want to see. No, you can see the intent he's going for. He's trying to use the pace on the ball. I think with a fine leg out for the left-hander, I'm not sure that was the option. 3rd man was up in the ring for him. Maybe if he tried to go the way, he didn't quite get a full piece of that. But if he'd gone the other way, he might have been able to squeeze the boundary out of that. And again, he's off strike. He runs from his penultimate over here, and that's really, really well bowled.
Well, once again,
and banged in short, slow ball bouncer. The batsman was far too early on it, looking to hit it over the nets. And another dot ball here. 4 or 5 dot balls in the last 10 deliveries. Could play a big part in the outcome of this game.
Yeah, definitely. In world cricket, I was just thinking, when you were talking about the short 3rd man basically being up and targeting that region for when Hassan Azad was on strike, it is actually, don't really have the stats to back this up, but I think you would see more right-handed batsmen attempting the scoop over 3rd man region or to reverse scoop more than the lefties. Don't really see more of the left-handed batsmen really attempting a scoop or anything as such.
I don't think I can recall a single one.
Yeah, I don't remember too many, but talking about the right-handed batsmen, I mean, Tom Benton, key example, and then there's so many more. Obviously, Brendan McCullum used to do that so many times throughout his career, and then nowadays you have Glenn Phillips or yeah, it's a
great knowledge from you there, Shov. Back-to-back 4 runs coming from the 19th and the 18th over. Just 8 runs coming from the previous 2. 4 runs from the penultimate over. Ellerslie 123 for 4, moving into the last over. So my prediction of 143 looking a little bit of a way off now. You have to say, a brilliant comeback from the Papatoetoe bowlers. Plenty of dot, say what you will about the batting. Plenty of dot balls.
That's right.
They've won their dot balls in the last couple of overs. They have done very well.
And again, as some of the Ellerslie Ellerslie batsman mentioned earlier as well, it is a tough wicket to bat early on. So it could be one of those things that's a tricky total to chase no matter what the score is. So anywhere around the 130, 135, we should be in for a good match regardless. It's well bowled once again.
It's so often these days we see big scores, 190, 200, 180, all the rest of them. Oh, the wicketkeepers. And a crazy passage of cricket as Hassad Azad pretty much gives up on the second run, knowing that he'd be run out by half a wicket length, but the keeper has knocked the bails off with his shoulder or his arm, it appears, on his way to taking the bails off, and wasn't quick enough to realise he needed to pull the stump out.
That's right. That's the Hassan Azad is not striker at the moment, is he? Yeah. Bizarre.
Sorry, beg your pardon, wrong striker. But he had completely given up on the second run. You saw his head go down. He was resound to the fact he was going to be run out. And the Papatoetoe keeper, unfortunately, has had a bit of a mare.
End of the day, it just goes down as 2 runs on the scoreboard.
Just been tucked into the leg side. Oh,
Another
that's a fantastic. What an incredible last 60 seconds of cricket. The ball's just been inside edge, gently into the leg side. That's hardly left the 30-yard circle. The bowler himself has steamed after it. Batsman coming back for the second. He has picked it up and flicked it almost through his legs in the same movement. And it's a direct hit at the striker's end, comfortably run out. Fantastic bit of fielding, shot.
There was a great bit of fielding, but another close one for the keeper as well. I don't know if the bells actually went off before with his gloves, or was it actually the ball? But anyway, that's 5 wickets down now for Ellerslie, and that's 128 for 5.
Papatoetoe keeper making it very interesting for the spectators down here at Michael's Avenue. We do have the cameras, but unfortunately we don't quite have the decision review process that the big boys do. Hopefully coming soon, but we'll have to stick with the old trusty umpire's decision for now. He's given it out, and Ellerslie 5 down. 128 for 5 here, midway through the final over of this Ellerslie innings. Winning the toss, choosing to bat. Talking to the captain at the toss, he'd say he'd be happy with a score of around 160. Talking to a couple of the other players in the commentary box, they say they'd be happy with anything between 140 and 150. And Shove, it looks like they might have to settle with something around 130.
That's right, yeah. As you said, Papatoetoe have bowled beautifully in the last 5 overs, and I think it was Ellerslie pretty much all the way through to the first 15. They were right on top and pretty much on track for a big score. But then no, Papatoetoe bowled beautifully, and Ellerslie batsmen have found it hard in the last 5, especially.
Well, we've gone from 103 for 2 at the 15 over stage to now 129 for 5. So the last few overs or so, Papatoetoe have really brought this innings back. You can see that the pitch is starting to deteriorate. We've mentioned it a few times this evening before about the importance of utilising your set batsmen. I think the fact that one of the Ellerslie opening batsmen is very close to carrying his bat here, and they've still only ended up in the 130s, tells you a lot about the state of the pitch.
That's right, absolutely. And also tells you that 135 might actually be a good total to defend as well if they bowl well in the right areas, and if they stick to their tactics and plans, might be in for a good game. Crucial boundary hit there off the penultimate ball of the innings, taking them up above that 130 mark. And we come here, it's a full toss. He's gone for the same shot again, the sweep shot, but it's gone straight to fine leg. He's going to tidy that up. Just a single.
In comes the throw, and just the single to end the innings. So Hassad Azad does carry his bat. He gets a handshake from the bowler. And the first innings complete here at Michael's Avenue. Ellerslie winning the toss, batting first. Got off to a great start with the opening pair of Hassad and Parry. But an excellent finish from the Papatoetoe bowling attack has kept them down to 134 for 5 at the midway stage of this game.
135 should be a fascinating chase, this, and yeah, both teams pretty much, I would say it's pretty much a par score, and both teams will be pretty happy by the score posted and the score defended. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll be back in the next 10 minutes.
Fantastic. Stay tuned for the second half of this exciting game here at Michael's Avenue.
Still selling that model. It's a camera that Canon got right from the get-go. Very few of those. Yeah.
And we're back being live. Welcome back to Michael's Avenue. Beautiful evening here. The sun is going down. Ellerslie won the toss, batting first, posting a score of 134 for 5. Papatoetoe just about to start their reply here. First over of this innings, same as the first over of the first innings, being bowled by some spin. The key man to watch here on the Papatoetoe lineup at the top of the order, Josh Plummer. Big man, hits the ball very hard. And a left-hand, right-hand combination at the top of the order here for Papatoetoe. Young man opening the bowling was the young man who joined us on the first commentary stint. If you were around then, he was talking about Ellerslie having a strong spinning attack and utilising that on this worn pitch, but he's dragged that one slightly down, and a fantastic shot, rocks onto the back foot, gets it up and over extra cover, and that's gone for the first boundary. Don't go anywhere here on the Auckland Cricket Channel. Papatoetoe are going to go at this hard. This game will... Ooh, fantastic piece of bowling. He's dragged that one just a fraction fuller, fraction quicker. He's looked for a similar kind of shot. He's beaten the outside edge. Interesting start here to the Papatoetoe innings. 5 for no loss from the first 3 balls. And he comes down the ground. He's not quite got the hold of it. There's a man out at long on, so he's going to come round and sweep that up pretty comfortably just for the single. But a real statement of intent here in the first over of this chase. As seen in this innings and the first innings as well, a left-hand, right-hand combination at the top. See a lot of fielders running around all over the place. Just the 2 men allowed outside the ring in the first 6 overs of 2020 cricket. And Ellerslie have got a man down here at long on just by me, and a man out at deep mid-wicket as Plummer, dead straight bat. That's a glorious piece of timing. He's not looked to overhit that at all. He's just almost chipped that straight back over the bowler's head. Long on, coming round, can't get to it. It's bounced just inside the rope. 4 runs and a brilliant end to the first over. Papatoetoe 10 for no loss. So we've been joined here in the commentary box by one of the Papatoetoe players. Introduce yourself for us, please, mate.
Okay, it's Nav here, mate. Papatoetoe, Premier player.
Fantastic. Tell me a little bit about your role in the team.
Well, I've been given the role to captain the side for the one days and T20s for the rest of the competition. It's an honour and a privilege to take over the captaincy of a club that I've played for quite a long time, since I was a little kid.
Fairy tale story. Fantastic. So talk to me about the first innings of this game. As captain, how do you feel it went?
I felt it was pretty comfortable. Like, I've got 3 or 4 senior guys that were helping me out on the field, and it went pretty smoothly as planned. I wanted to ideally keep them just under 130, but they got 134. I think that's a reasonable total on that wicket, because change of pace is something that worked for us. So I'm sure they'll take note of it and try and do the same while they're bowling.
I think it's a real testament to the way you captain the side. An awful lot of that innings, there was a big left-hand, right-hand combination going on. A lot of fielders running all over the place. It's got to be tricky for a captain in 2020 cricket to stay alert to all that.
Yeah, to be honest, now that you're telling me, I just thought about it now. The whole time I didn't even think about that was left and right. I was just making sure that I got the field right, you know. But yeah, that's something that now that I sort of sitting back thinking about it, yeah, it is something that that plays with your mind. You have to change the field basically every ball, because they were rotating quite well in the middle.
I think really good point you mentioned there about taking the pace off the ball towards the end of the innings. I think there was a little bit of a period there when those two were going well in the middle, where we could have been looking at something a little bit more 140, 150. I think a testament to your bowlers for keeping them down to the score that they did, actually.
Yeah, even I thought they were set for 150, 160, but to be honest with you, I've got really good trust in my death bowlers, Luke and Bills. It's something that I thought, you know, if they're about 100 after 15 overs, I back our guys to, you know, keep them under 140, and that's exactly what happened. I sort of back them and give them the fields they want, and they're happy to execute.
That's a fantastic bit of work from you there. 103 for 2 after 15 overs they actually were, finishing up on 134. So we've gone 31 runs in the last 5 overs for 3 wickets.
Yeah, very pleasing effort at the end. I was very pleased. I mean, as I said, I was thinking they're probably going to get 150. Which is probably going to be just above par on this wicket, but I think they're just on par at the moment, and if we bat well and smart, I think we should have this.
Pretty clear intent from your opening pair that they're not going to nudge and nurdle this score. They're going to look to go at it pretty hard.
Yeah, mate, that's just the way they bat, to be honest. Both of them are quite aggressive players. They've been doing really well in T20 cricket. I mean, they've gotten us off to some flyers in the last sort of 3 or 4 games, and I'm banking on these two. These two are senior players. They know what they're doing. I really don't have to tell them much. Hopefully they can just come off in the first 6, and it'll make it easier for everyone else coming in.
No, I certainly remember Josh Plummer doing some editing on the North Shore stuff, him smashing our boys around at a 2-day game not too long ago. It's very important, I think, in 2020 cricket these days, obviously, to get off to a fast start, and we see this a lot, especially in international cricket, in the Big Bash, in IPL, where we see dominant attacking players up the top of the order. On a low full toss, that's been, could have been a catch taken at mid-off, but he's
backpedaled a bit,
opted to go for the run out, and he's missed that there. One of those split decisions.
Yeah, I think if he committed, he had a half a chance here.
So 5 runs coming from the second over here at Michaels Avenue. Papatoetoe in reply to Ellerslie's 134 for 5 have got off to a decent start. They are 15 for no loss.
Straighter.
So the call of inside out over cover, not quite what we've gone for, but a little skip down the ground, straight off the middle of the bat. He's crushed that straight back over the bowler's head. Probably the biggest 6 of the day so far. Real statement of intent here from this Papatoetoe opening pair early. First 6 of the innings.
I reckon he's going, eh?
He's got to go again, isn't he? He does go again. This one's slightly wider. He goes up and over mid-off this time. A change of angle from the bowler. He's come round the wicket, but he's used his feet again, opened himself up and smashed that over mid-off. Back-to-back boundaries, 6 and 4 to start the 3rd over. That's got to be what you want to see as a captain early.
Yeah, I mean, he backs his strength. That's one of his strengths. I mean, you know, I bowl to him a lot in the net, so sort of get a good idea what he's trying to do when he's out there. So it's pleasing to see.
Brilliant to see a player backing his shots.
Yeah.
This could be exactly the start that Papatoetoe needs to this innings. Oh, the commentator's curse comes in again. He looks to go again. Looking over square leg that time, gets the big slog sweep out. He's missed it and he's been clean bowled. So, risk reward of being positive in the power play. It's a fantastic start to the over, but he's been pegged back. 2.3 overs gone. Papatoetoe 25 for 1. So a big wicket going down in the third over.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a big loss, but Logie is someone, I mean, he's still our two-day captain and he's still one of the senior guys, so I'm looking forward to him seeing how he goes about his business now, taking us to the end.
Papatoetoe now 25 for 1 midway through their third over. Could be a turning point early in the power play here. Sticking with the same field, they're going to have to bring one in. They've got 3 men out so far. Long off is going to come in. He's coming into long. He's coming into mid off. Got a man out at the long on boundary and a man out at deep mid wicket. Everyone up on the offside. Could be a scoring option there. I think that would be where I'd be looking to go. Obviously, easy shot. Sun setting here at Michael's Avenue. Going to be playing a factor on the boys on the offside here, staring straight into that sun. It's not going to be easy fielding that side. That's when I've got to be looking to utilise that. It's a confident punch down the ground, first ball from Logan Clark.
Yeah, it's a good shot for no run.
Love them, coach's favourite.
Yeah.
Drag slightly down, just stopping in the wicket fraction there. You can see Clark looking to work that way onto the leg side. It's just holding up on him a fraction. Slight outside half of the bat there. He's got to be careful there. Don't try and work that too square. You have to say that's been a really, really good comeback from Ellerslie in that over there. 10 runs coming from it, just from the first 2 balls though, and the crucial wicket. 3 overs gone. Papatoetoe 25 for 1. So an interesting first overs. Interesting first few overs. You've had some boundaries, you've had a wicket. Tough to say who's on top so far.
I mean, this is a big over. I mean, if we can get, even if we can get 6th off this and not lose a wicket, it's a good shot. Behind square.
Swung away by Plummer.
Yeah.
It's been dragged in, slight pace off the ball. Right into his arc. He swings it away. 4 more runs to Plummer. So give me a score, captain. The end of the power play. Where are we happy with?
To be honest, if these 2 guys are there, I'm happy with 40 odd, 45, 46 runs after 6 overs. I'm more than happy with these 2 guys there. But if Joshy is there, then it could be more. And looking at that, but I'm hoping that he can sort of select his balls and be selective about his shot selection.
That is something that we saw was crucial in the success of the Ellerslie innings. Although we had 2 men who batted pretty much the whole innings, all the way up until the 17th over, they were selective in their shots. They were picking their boundary options when they came and rotating the strike well. 46 for 1, Ellerslie were at the end of their first power play. Similar looking here for the Papatoetoe skipper. 29 for 1 so far, midway through the 4th over. Another slower ball, and Plummer goes down the ground, just clearing mid-off. Good strike on it, swinging his arm straight through the line of the ball. That's another boundary. Papatoetoe keep marching on, not perturbed by that first wicket going down in the last over. Plummer clattering the ball back over the bowler's head for the 2nd boundary of this over. 33 for 1. There's only 1 gear with Josh Plummer, right?
It's such an elegant swing. I mean, he plays a lot of golf, so I mean, you can see that in the swing.
I bet he's got a massive,
great shot. That is a great shot. Behind point, 4 runs.
And this is damage to Ellerslie here. This is damage. Josh Plummer looking strong now, starting to settle into his groove. You can see what the bowler's trying to do. He's been hit back over his head. He's dragged his length back a fraction. with a little bit of width, and Plummer is all over it. He crashes that through behind backward point for his third boundary of the over. 12 runs coming from this so far. We still have 2 balls left. Plummer really utilising the power play well here. 37 for 1 down at Michael's Ave here. We've got an exciting game on our hands here. Comes in again. That's better bowling. He's dragged that one back. He's found his line. The dot ball here. Can he see out the rest of the over? Big statement of intent here from Papatoetoe and from Josh Plummer after losing the wicket in the previous over. Very important not to let setbacks like that get to your head as a batsman. You've got to continue with the job at hand, and he's doing that really nicely here. He comes in here to finish off the 4th over. A sensible play. He's got plenty of runs from the over. He's seen it out. 12 runs have come from the 4th over. Papatoetoe marching on to 37 for 1. And a round of applause from the skipper here in the commentary box. Going at just over 9 runs and over through the first 4. Got to be the perfect start.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the start, to be honest. I mean, would have loved to have Hushel still out there, but it's just one of those things. I'm hoping that Logie, takes the responsibility and bats through the innings now.
Starting off the 5th over here, we're seeing some more spin coming down. 5 overs of spin so far from the Ellerslie lot. Again, they did say that when we had a couple of their boys in here for a little commentary stint, that they were a heavily spin bowling lineup.
Ellerslie boys?
Yeah, and you can see on the a little bit of intel to the opposition captain. Probably won't get any high fives for that from the Ellerslie boys, but you can see used pitch, low score. You can see the kind of angle they're trying to go with here.
Yeah, and I'm hoping the pitch doesn't slow down much. That's why I wanted to bat the shot, Josh.
As we can see there, risk reward of bowling spin in the power play. Josh Plummer taking to this like candy to a baby. Just a length ball. Yeah. He goes straight back over the bowler's head for the 2nd time in his innings. That's another boundary to Josh Plummer.
I mean, that's right in the slot for him. Just an elegant swing, as I said.
With 2 men out on the boundary, surely their tactic has got to be to fire it in and tuck him up a little bit, not give him any room to swing.
We've got deep long on and deep mid wicket. You've got to be straight.
He tries to utilise that offside, tries to run it down, but that's got to be a better length, I think, to somebody like Plummer. He's looking for anything slightly wide that he can swing his big shoulders through. Tuck him up like that, force him to swing across the line, force him to utilise areas where he might not be as strong. He goes length again, and that is smashed away. He's gone inside out, over, long off, wide cover. And that is a 6 to Josh Plummer. Superb, exactly what we've just been talked about. The ball tossed up there just a little bit more, a little bit of air, a little bit of width, and Josh Plummer licks his lips and absolutely slams that away over extra cover. 6 runs.
One thing is important also as well with this kookaburra that we play with, it gets soft quite quickly as well. It probably gets soft after 5-6 overs, and it is actually it's harder to actually score at the end because it loses its hardness and it's hard to sort of hit. And it's best.
That's a brilliant bit of insight that we just heard there from the skipper. As we say goodbye to him now, as he goes and gets his pads on, we lose the wicket of Josh Plummer. The 2nd wicket going down here for Papatoetoe. Just as he was looking to start getting going, he's taken 11 runs from the 5th over so far, but he's lost his leg stump trying to go big again. Papatoetoe off to a fantastic start with runs on the board. 48, but they've lost their 2nd wicket now. 48 for 2 midway through the 5th over. But as just mentioned there by the Papatoetoe captain, a really interesting point made about the state of the ball. The kookaburras we do use, they do go soft quicker. He's saying it is more difficult to score towards the end of the innings, and we did see that in the Ellerslie innings with only 31 runs coming from the final 5 overs. losing 3 wickets in that way. Really good bit of insight there from one of the players. Something that we might not be able to see here, Shavik, but something that one of the players can actually give us from being on the pitch.
And that's why we basically invite the players to come along and join us in the commentary box. So no, it's wonderful that when they actually do come on board and give us the insights and just their way of thinking, basically, of how they're sort of approaching the game while being part of the game as well. Actually,
good to have people in here who have actually played a good standard of cricket, Shav?
That's right. Well played. Well played.
So, as we massively downgrade to having Shavik Nandi joining me in the commentary box, we're seeing a change of field here. Five overs gone here at Marquis Avenue. Score is 48 for 2 for Papatoetoe in response to Ellerslie's 134 for 5 in the first innings. This is Ellerslie's big opportunity to drag this innings back a little bit. They've been going at just under 10 runs and over, 9.5 and over through the first 5. Looking very, very positive, but both men who have scored all those runs have gone. They are back in the hutch. We have 2 new men to the crease. This is going to be a very important stage of this game.
Absolutely, yeah. As we saw in the first innings as well, like after the first 2 wickets were gone, it was up to the batsman to basically build on that partnership and keep the wickets in check. And obviously it didn't for them in the last 5 or 6 overs, but yeah, that would definitely be the way to go from here for Papatoetoe, especially because they know what sort of score they're chasing at the moment. So it's much easier to approach a game in the second innings with wickets in hand.
It was interesting to hear there from the Papatoetoe captain asking for one of his big boys to be there at the end to see most of these runs through on their own, as we saw from the Ellerslie lot with Hassad Azans here. It's good, always good to get off to a good start, which the opening pair have got them off to, of Plummer and Vyas, but with both of those 2 gone now, they're going to have to rebuild. Good over this so far. Just the 3 runs coming from the 6th over, so an excellent comeback. 23 coming from the previous 2 overs, just the 3 coming from the 6th so far. And that brings to the end the first power play.
6 overs, 51.
6 overs, 51 for 2. Papatoetoe, they are only 5 runs ahead of where Ellerslie were at this stage of their innings, and they've lost at 1 extra wicket. Very much in the balance so far.
Absolutely, and for Ellerslie's sake, I would say that they would pretty much be able to be ahead of the game all the way up until the 15th over mark, because at that stage, that's basically when the Ellerslie the batting sort of fell through, and they were about, I think, 10 or 15 short with the sort of platform that they had early on. But yeah, it should be a interesting stage here, as we see continuation of spin bowling from both ends. 7th
over of spin being bowled here. Again, going along the lines of what we've been hearing from the Ellerslie players in the commentary box, that they are a predominantly heavy spin attack. And it'll be interesting to see how the Ellerslie team are together on the pitch here. We can hear a lot of encouragement coming from their players. They're a new side, they're a young side, they're an inexperienced side in terms of being together as a team. This could be a really good test of their unity. And it'll be crucial for the captain out there to make sure that his players are fully switched on here. As that one's dragged horribly down, but he's got away with it, just tucked away for his... He's just got the 2 for it. It's crucial that the ring fielders here for Ellerslie have got to stop the singles. One area, I think, where Papatoetoe was slightly sloppy in the field in their bowling effort was far too many singles taken where they probably could have saved them, probably could have kept that score down to 10 or 15 less.
Absolutely. That was during that 10 to 15 over sort of period where that's great bit of work by the keeper.
That's a fantastic bit of bowling, fantastic bit of keeping.
great cricketer all round,
As
apart from the batsman.
A crucial moment in this game takes place here. Logan Clark going, the 2-day skipper for Papatoetoe. I have to say, he came down early. I could see from here what he was looking to do. He's looking to come down, get to the pitch of the ball. It's been chucked slightly wider. And the keeper, no hesitation, whipping the bails off. Clark, no chance of getting back into his ground. Third wicket goes down here at Michael Zav, halfway through the 7th over. Papatoetoe 55 for 3 after a fantastic start, just starting to lose a couple of wickets.
That's right.
Don't go anywhere, this is going to be a fantastic chase.
Pretty evenly poised teams as well. It's not.
So Shav, I'm gonna put you on the spot as captain. Whose position would you rather be in right now? Papatoetoe have the slight run advantage, but they've also lost 2 extra wickets.
That's right.
Where would you rather be?
Pretty evenly poised, but at the same time, I think I would rather be the team chasing 135. So again, obviously a 3 wicket loss, but then the run rate's pretty good at the moment. It's just a matter of stringing a couple of partnerships here and there, and then getting close to that 130 mark. So yeah, definitely. I still think Papatoetoe would be around 60-40 towards Papatoetoe at the moment, even with the loss of 3 wickets. But they still have a lot of batting in their armoury as well. So
interesting here in the commentary box. Alternate opinions. I personally would go the other way. I think I'd rather be on the fielding team right now. I think runs on the board on a tough pitch is with the 2. You know, although the run rate has been good for the first sort of third of this innings, both those men are out now. Spinners are starting to take control of this game. I think I'd rather have runs on the board.
Runs on the board? Yeah. Either way, look, it's going to be a good match for us to watch from here. And more than that, I think it's pretty much comes down to the 2 teams who basically keep their nerves well and who pretty much capitalise on the singles and twos, which is going to be very crucial from now on. It's not just about the boundaries as such. It's just basically how you pace your innings and how the rest of the batsmen bat together in partnerships or bowl together in partnerships. So,
speaking of singles and twos, Nav Ojala, captain for today, off the mark first ball. And as we see there, that is an absolute seed from round the wicket, beats the outside edge, takes the top of off stump. Big celebration from the bowler. That is a crucial moment in this game. Number 4, Dilpreet Singh dismissed, and Papatoetoe lose their 4th.
Now this is when you want to be in the Ellerslie side now.
Basically, so I called it right.
You called it right. Yes, that's right. Take it back. So now 60-40 towards Ellerslie at the moment. So
there we go. We can see this is where, as a cricket fan, you've got to take into account a little bit more than just the scoreboard. Although the runs are looking pretty good, the 2-set man who got those runs out, new men coming in on a tough pitch, is starting to prove that it is difficult to start on this pitch. A little bit stoppy, a little bit slow. Singh there probably waiting for the ball to turn, not getting any, beating his outside edge, clipped the top of off stump. Absolute peach shot.
Oh, it's fantastic over there. Could be a Dream 11 game changer if we were playing Super Smash.
5 runs and the 2 wickets coming from the 7th over. Papatoetoe 56 for 4.
I had 55 for 4, but yeah, 56, we'll go with that. Back and good on Ellerslie for basically sticking with spin and yeah, just the rewards are definitely showing up.
The last 4 overs have been a real showing of how the ebbs and flows of 2020 cricket go. Overs 4 and 5 going for 23 for the loss of just 1 wicket, and overs 6 and 7 going for 8 for the loss of 2 wickets.
This is going to be the crucial partnership here. So captain on, so that's Navdeep, non-strikers.
I think you're absolutely right, mate. This is the crucial. Oh, how many times am I going to commentate his curse today? That is my 3rd victim of the afternoon. Give me the man of the match award. Sure. Bit of width on the ball, wasn't a particularly nocturous delivery, and he's gone back to cut it away. And a thick outside edge. Brilliant take from the keeper again. He's having a superb game behind the stumps. Papatoetoe, after an unbelievable start, the wheels are starting to fall off, Shov. 58 for 5.
Oh, that's fantastic bowling, this. And the last one, not so much. It was a shot, but the over before that, it pretty much set it up, and it's scoreboard pressure once again. So looking to capitalise on the singles and twos, and just keep the scoreboard ticking, and that's what happens basically.
I can almost hear the coaches' union shouting as one, "Don't cut the off spinner." Surely that's cricket 101, Shov, isn't it? You know, hit the ball on the ground, bowl fast, don't cut the off spinner.
Absolutely correct.
You know, when I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing that creeps into my mind.
Now this is going to be a very tough total to chase down now from Papatoetoe. They do have the batting, but it is going to be again up to their mental strength, I would say.
Thoughts on the red helmet, Shop? As a Jersey boy born and raised, the Jersey national side wear red helmets, so that's a good affiliation to myself. Thoughts on it out here in the Auckland League?
Yeah, absolutely fine. I mean, you're playing with the white balls, no sort of distractions there, and at the same time, they're Papatoetoe colours, so got to embrace what you have, and similar to the West Indian colours as well. So yeah,
very true. 2 runs and the 5th wicket coming from the 8th over. Papatoetoe 58 for 5 after 8 overs of their chase. So tell me, Shov, walks out wearing a rep grade helmet. He's got his Aces badge on. Yay or nay? Is that allowed? How much stick of
goes back to the history and stuff, and yeah.
I'll tell you what, I can tell you from personal experience, if that was back home, no chance.
Wearing a helmet?
No, wearing a rep badge on your helmet. Oh. That'd be no good. If someone came out here wearing an Aces,
yeah, that's bad.
Oh. No. There'd be a lot of pressure on a batsman to score some real runs, let me tell you. 58 for 5 midway through the 9th over here at Michaels Avenue. Ellerslie winning the toss, batting first, posting 134 for 5. At one stage looked like it could have been a bit more, but they've been pegged well back attack. Strong finish to their innings. And they got off to the perfect start with Plummer and Vias smashing the ball to all parts. 25 for 1, 48 for 2 through 5 overs, but they have collapsed somewhat in the last couple of overs, losing 3 wickets for just 10 runs in the last 3 overs. Another single there takes it 59 for 5. I'm joined here by Shovik Nandi. Shovik, who do you think's on top at this stage of the innings?
Oh, at the moment, without a doubt, Ellerslie. And but again, it's T20 cricket, so momentum could just swing within a space of 2 overs, as we saw with Ellerslie in particular. So it's easier, I would say, for the bowling team to the game if they are falling slightly behind than the batsman, basically, unless if you score pretty much a massive over of 15 or 20 runs, and yeah, at the moment I think it's just ball by ball and keeping small targets, just reaching for the next over, and then yeah, just the next target for Papatoetoe would be not to lose a wicket in the next 2 or 3 overs for starters, and then capitalising on the set batsman.
I think you're bang on with your point about setting small targets and realising what stage of the game they're at, because already, even though we are midway through the 9th over, end of the 9th over there, just the 2 runs coming from it again. Papatoetoe is 60 for 5. They've got to realise the runs aren't too bad. They're almost halfway to their target already, although lost a few wickets. These 2 batsmen out there have got to be saying to themselves, next 5 runs, next 10 runs, next 20 runs. This pair need to take this innings as deep as possible if they're going to have any chance of chasing these runs down. If they lose another 2 wickets in the next 2 overs, it could be an early bath. But again, you have to give full credit to the Ellerslie bowler, take him shot.
Absolutely, and good on the batsman for taking maximum advantage of that. That was a gift from the bowler itself, so deserved deserve the treatment.
When you've got spinners bowling in 2020, you're going to get opportunities to score, and when you get a ball like that, you have got to put it away. And credit to the batsman, he's done exactly that. Rocking onto the back foot, swinging it away into the deep. No one out at deep square leg for a big 6.
And that's a great reply for the second ball. Straight back to the bowler, dot ball.
So if you were in Ellerslie's position right now, how would you be looking at this field? So we've got a deep mid wicket, we've got a long on, and we've got a long off. Those are the only men outside the ring as of now. Obviously 2 more allowed out if they wanted to, but they haven't gone for it. Would you be slightly more defensive at this stage, or
I would keep the long off on, so I would encourage them to go over the top, and especially it is against hitting against the turn straight off. It is going to be a risky option, and I mean, if they're good enough to do it, so be it. Give them the 4, but encourage the long off to come up to mid off, and then introduce the risk element as well.
It's run out opportunity. No, it's been fumbled at backward point. I think you made a very good point there, especially with the ball turning into the batsman. We've got 2 right-handers in now. The ball turning into the batsman, as we've seen from the pitch, a little bit stoppy, a little bit of turn to help the bowlers. I think going over sort of extra cover mid-off is going to be a difficult shot on this pitch. So I think you're exactly right. Bring that man up, force the risk, make him take chances to get to their boundaries. Obviously, first ball of this over going for 6. Not ideal, but he's dragged it back beautifully well. Just the 1 run coming from the final 5 balls of that over. 7 runs coming from the 10th. Papatoetoe 67 for 5.
68.
Correction, 68 for 5.
68 for 5.
So we're exactly at the halfway stage of this innings. We're halfway through the wickets, we're halfway through the runs. And again, if you look at the scoreboard, you will be thinking that Ellerslie are right on top here, but Papatoetoe are halfway through the runs. This is going to be a very interesting and a great little spot there from my co-commentator Shovik. Exactly the same stage at the 10 over mark of the Ellerslie innings. They were 68 for 2. So runs parallel for both teams.
It's just the wickets.
Just the wickets, that's all it is.
That's right.
3 extra wickets in hand Ellerslie had.
And again, it comes down to just stringing along a couple of partnerships for Papatoetoe, and you never know when the scoreboard pressure might just come back into play. So it's it's all part of that.
If we're doing a comparison between the 2 teams at this stage of the halfway of the innings, an extra 3 wickets in hand could go an awfully long way to winning this game. But you'd have to say if they went on to win the game from here, Papatoetoe 7 wickets down now with a score 73, midway through the 13th over. An interesting over being bowled here. One being dragged down the leg side for a wide, that one tucked away into the leg side for a single. Papatoetoe really have gone at this chase hard all the way through the innings. We saw that from the intent set by the opening batsman. They got off to a fantastic start, 51 for 2 through the first power play of 6 overs. Since then, 24 runs from the next, from the next 6.5 overs, losing 5 wickets, and that one again is down the way out towards mid-wicket. Luckily that one for the batsman's just landed short of him. You've got to question these tactics here, Sean.
Yeah, it's baffling stuff, to be fair. Doesn't seem, it just doesn't seem that
bad ball. Papatoetoe are getting plenty of scoring options here. They're getting plenty of boundary balls.
Don't know what's happening.
Yeah, plenty of boundary balls on offer for Just a 1 run so far coming from the 14th over. He skips down the track, flicks that out towards deep mid wicket. Is he going to get round? No, he's picked the gap nicely. On that occasion, the reward coming well. Beautifully played, skips down the track, finds the gap, and that's gone for a much needed 4 runs. Papatoetoe now 81 for 7. And on that occasion, Shov, we can see the risk going in Papatoetoe's favour.
Yeah, again, now you're pretty much getting up to that kind of stage where you might need 1 boundary per over. Oh, even then, how much do you need at the moment?
This chase can be done without that. 6, 7, 8s and over. It's not quite
40 off the last 6, yeah.
40 off the last 6. Just the 5 runs coming from the 14th over. Papatoetoe 81 for 7 now through 14.
Slightly more than 40 then.
Another 54 runs required from the final, where are we, from the final 6 overs. Awful maths in the commentary box from both of your commentators here. Apologies for that. We specialise in
54 of the last.
We specialise in hilarious puns and mildly average cricket ability.
That's right.
But it's always done with a smile on our face to make sure you viewers enjoy 2020 cricket here in Auckland as much as we are. That one's been flashed away off the outside edge. Third man was very, very wide, so they're going to come back and pick up 2 there. Again, important runs here. Important runs for Papatoetoe, these. And swung away, just the 1 run out to deep mid wicket.
84 now.
84 for 7.
It's getting closer, getting closer. If they can somehow make it to the 18th over without losing any more wickets.
51 to 8. He comes down the ground, he goes big. It's going to be a diving effort.
And that's 4.
And it's a credit to the fielder. He's got his fan club sitting behind us on the bank. They've egged him on to go for the catch. It was a pretty good effort. He is our hero. He's not our hero on that occasion. He didn't quite manage to get to it. That one goes for 4. Intent shown this over from the Papatoetoe pair. 7 runs coming from the 15th so far. This looks like a bit of an injection of pace, Shov.
Absolutely, yeah. And now, again, he goes for the
clever bowling. He's taking the pace off it a little bit. Batsman using his feet, but he's just yorked himself. No run there. Crucial dot ball.
Surely the easiest thing now is just to get off strike and go down to the others again.
47 more required for the win. He swung that away into the leg side. He's found the same man at deep mid wicket who has taken the same catch. It's a deja vu of our previous dismissal. Papatoetoe really are throwing away this fantastic start they got off to. They are now 88 for 8. All the fat ladies, 888. Midway through the 15th over. And as the sun sets here at Michael's Avenue, could the sun be setting on the Papatoetoe chase shot?
Certainly looks like so. I mean, the easiest thing to do in that kind of scenario would be just to get off strike and go for the single, or again string a couple of partnerships if you can. But no, another wicket, and it's 88 for 8, like you said, and looks now it's going to be very, very tough for Papatoetoe to pull off something.
Well, here's a great stat for you, Shov. You ready? It's good.
Same score, is it?
Further 47 more runs required for the win, with 2 wickets left from 5 overs, which is exactly what the after 5 overs could be looking for an early bath here.
Dropped off again.
Big full toss chuck down there, swatted away into the leg side. No timing though, they'll come back for 2.
Again, he's looking for the 6s when there are 3 fielders in the boundary, and yeah,
we see it an awful lot this day, especially in international cricket, where they weight the ball so beautifully they can come back for 2s. Come back for 2s well. That one swung away again, another single. Another single taken out to deep cover. Excellent running there.
That's much better from Papatoetoe. Looking for the single and then followed by a chip to long on for 2. So 96 for 8 at the moment.
Come on, Sherpa.
And the end of the 16th over here, Papatoetoe 96 for 8.
End of the 16th.
End of the 16th. 96 for 8. Papatoetoe in reply to 134 for 5 set by home side Ellerslie. And the frustrating thing, I think, for the Papatoetoe team, looking over my shoulder over towards their dugout, looking pretty dejected, is they've been up with the run rate shove. They've been right up there the whole innings. Just lost wickets at the wrong times.
Just lost their way pretty much, especially right after they lost Josh Plummer. I think it was just the wrong approach at that time in the innings. So
Josh Plummer going midway through the 7th over, where they actually lost 2 wickets, going from 51 for 2 to 56 for 4 by the end of that over. And again, another little thing to notice here. Ellerslie home side utilising her home conditions. 17 overs of spin so far. Oh, and
just pierced the gap there.
Down the gap, down the track, sliding away. Fantastic diving effort and extra cover there for the catch. It's just fingertips away. And then a superb piece of fielding down on the extra cover boundary. Deep cover sweeper sprinting round. He must have covered 20 metres there. Full length dive. Keeps that in. Keeps it just down to 2.
Right on
Again,
top, yeah.
when you're defending a low total, it's pieces of fielding like that that really can make a big difference come the end of the game. Oh, a big swing and a top edge, and that's going to run away. That could run away for 4. No, it's just held up. It's just been brought in by the fielder. It's nicely done. And they've come back for 2. You can hear the crowd behind us getting right into this. This is going to be an exciting finish here at Michaels Avenue. Ellerslie team well on top. Papatoetoe going for their shots. It's going to be an exciting finish.
And that 2 brings up the 100 for Papatoetoe as well. So that's 101 for 8 at the moment.
And that's been chipped out to mid-wicket again. Oh, that's a fantastic catch. What a piece of fielding. It's the same man. It's his 3rd catch down at deep mid-wicket. You can hear the crowd behind me going absolutely mental. What a superb bit of athleticism.
I love amateur cricket.
It's chipped away. It's exactly the same as the other 2 dismissals that have been taken out there. He's run forwards, he's dived low, he's scraped it off the grass, and he's managed to cling onto it. That is a huge moment in this game. The crowd are going mental. 9 wickets down now, Papatoetoe, 100 runs on the board. Still requiring another 35 for the win. That could be a huge moment in this game, Shov.
Oh, massive, massive.
What a catch.
Fantastic.
What a catch.
That's his 3rd catch today? Or was that
3rd catch at deep mid-wicket today. That is fantastic athleticism, great concentration. Moments like that can turn big games, and that might just have won it for his team. Outstanding. Someone buy him. Someone buy that man a beer.
Brothers Beer?
Brothers Beer. Nice. Nicely done.
Down to the last wicket now for the Papatoetoe innings.
I'll tell you what,
101 for 9.
I've seen stranger things happen, Shov. In my many years of amateur cricket, I've seen many stranger things happen. Played in a game back in my youth, I think I was about 17, where the other team needed 14 runs for the win. 8 wickets in hand, they had 12 overs to do it, and we bowled them out, taking 8 wickets for 13 runs to win the game by 1 run. So since that day, nothing is impossible for me in cricket. six runs and the wicket coming from the 17th over here at Michaels Avenue. Papatoetoe 102 for 9 in reply to the hosts Ellerslie's 134 for 5. Got off to a brilliant start, but they have fallen away, they have collapsed, and they are now on the brink of what has to be said from the position they were in, a pretty disappointing position. This would definitely be one a coach, a captain, a senior player can look back on and say, we definitely could have won this game.
Absolutely, and it's not a game where the alarm bells would be ringing as such as well, because they could have actually approached it in a different sort of manner, and then everything else could be completely different. So they could have actually approached it in a much more meaningful sort of stringing together the partnerships and building towards that chase. So absolutely, there's plenty of positives and plenty of work-ons for both the teams here. But even for Ellerslie, I mean, the last 5 overs, they would probably look back and say that they might have been 10 or 15 short, but they've bowled fantastically and fielded really well as well. So
into the 18th over here, every over being bowled by spin. I don't think I've ever seen that in a 2020 game with my own eyes, and it's proved to work perfectly. Eh?
Oh, absolutely. And that's just basically knowing your home conditions and knowing the pitch, how it's going to play, and going towards it.
This could be the end of the game, and he's taken it. It's another fantastic catch. What a way to finish the game for Ellerslie. Wasn't quite sure if it was going to reach, but he's steamed in. He's taken another fantastic diving catch, running forwards. What a way to finish the game. The last 2 wickets going bang, bang. Late in the evening, the sun going down here at Michael's Ave. It's getting quite dark. 2 wonderful pieces of athleticism. See this game done. Papatoetoe have been bowled out for 103 in reply to Ellerslie's 134 for 5. What a fantastic fielding and bowling performance by Ellerslie. They will be absolutely delighted with this win. They have dominated for most of this game, and from the position Papatoetoe were in at the end of their first power play, they will be extremely pleased with their efforts in the field. Special mention goes to opening batsman Hassad Azad for carrying his bat for Ellerslie. Wonderful performance from him. We weren't sure at the start of the game whether 130 odd would be enough, but it certainly proved to be enough here at Michael's Avenue. A wonderful performance from the home side, Ellerslie. Thank you very much for joining in. I've been Elliot Corbell here in association with Auckland Cricket. Joining me today, Shovik Nandi and several of the boys from across the clubs. We really hope you've enjoyed our coverage today. It's been a fantastic game. We've all really enjoyed it. And see you next time.